It was wrong, so I should go with the third one, that's the one you did, and then you didn't swap out for that. Or didn't take. So, but I just need to know which class.
You guys ready down there?
The second.
Ready?
Yeah.
Get her phone number and call her tonight. Okay, we'll start the meeting of the Edinburgh Zoning Board of Appeals, Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. Okay, we'll start off with roll call. We got Bill Jones. Here. Allison Detling.
Here.
And Keith Sells.
Here.
Greg Stinson.
Here.
And Ron Ham's here. Also here is Secretary Stephanie Taylor and Town Attorney Dustin Huddleston. If everyone's had a chance to read the minutes of October the 1st, 2025, if you want to have any changes, then want to make a motion to approve the minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve, and we have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Okay, we have a sign-in sheet here for anyone who wants to sign in and name and address. And if something come up later with your case, then they'll send you information on it. And then we're gonna have a swearing in, and Mr. Holston will take care of that.
Anybody speaking for or against petition tonight, please raise your hand so I can swear you in.
Well,
Whatever.
yeah.
You swear the penalties for the testimony you give tonight is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. When you come up, state your name and address for the record.
Okay, we got case ZB 2025-11B, Mackenzie R.S. Kaufman.
Yep. So tonight, our first case is a variance request of Mr. Colvin's. This is at 501 West Park Drive in Meadow Village. This is within a flood zone. And here it is on within the town. This is a development standards variance to allow for a garage that is 26 by 35 with 10-foot walls, which is larger than our definition of a private garage. The first item for the board, there was an item in the notification. The sign was posted after the required date. So, Mr. Huddleston, do they need to make a motion on this first before we continue?
Correct.
So the board would need to make a motion to hear this tonight or to continue it because the sign was not posted as required in the packet.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we hear this tonight.
Okay, we have a motion to hear it tonight. Anyone have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We'll hear it.
As I mentioned, this is within one of our residential districts. And I will let Mr. Colvin explain what it is he would like to do with the property at this time.
Mackenzie Colvin, live at 501 West Park Drive. I'm looking to build a garage in my backyard so I can park my truck and my car and all of my lawn equipment and stuff and storage. The specific requirements for a garage in a residential neighborhood, as per the guidelines set forth, my truck will not fit inside said garage the way I need it situated on the property. So that's the reason why I would need the 26-foot depth so I can pull my truck completely into the garage. The 35 was to have a little separate area outside the 2 bays for workshop tools, etc., lawn equipment. So that's the reason why I was asking for the size of the garage I need. It fits good in the backyard. I would be putting it at the minimum of 10 feet away from any property line. So, I mean, I'm within the standards, I would think, other than the size. So I'm asking for you guys to consider that for.
Do we have any questions for Mr. Coleman? Any questions?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
On the 10-foot sides, you're
Mhm.
talking an extra shed, are you gonna do a lean-to, or is it gonna be part of that, in that 10-foot wall?
That's
Four
inside
walls.
that 10-foot wall.
If nobody has any questions, thank you for, oh,
I do.
Hang on.
Don't need to sign in or?
Not yet, just
No.
wait your turn.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, anyone else want to speak for the petition?
okay,
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
okay, now,
All right, does anyone else want to speak against the petition? Okay, state your name.
Yeah, hi, I'm Chuck Blair. I didn't even know this was coming up. I didn't see a letter or anything. I didn't receive a letter, but I own a property at 421 West Park, which is about 5 houses down. I understand the garage and everything. I'm all for that, no problem. But I just have a little bit of problem of going why it has to be 10 feet. Whenever I look at a 10 foot, I see other neighborhoods, you know, the width and the depth, I don't have a problem with, but whenever you throw that 10 foot in there, it kind of, it's a residential, and it kind of throws it out of whack with all the other houses and everything there. It kind of makes it look like a commercial building, and I'm kind of, don't know why we have to go with 10 feet high. So that's the only thing, I don't have any problem with adding it, but I just don't like the 10 feet why you have to go with 10 feet. Okay?
Anyone else want to speak against the petition? Okay. Petitioner, you have a chance to comment, anything like that, you have 10 more minutes.
Well, to answer your question about the 10 feet. My truck sits right at almost 7 foot 10 inches tall.
Uh-huh.
And if I was to try to pull into that garage with a standard 8-foot door, there could be the possibility if I had anything in the back of my truck hitting the door. So in order to get away from the 8-foot tall door, I had to go with a 9-foot tall door, which increased the height of the 10 foot to the 10 foot. And my truck is 2018 GMC 2500 HP 4-wheel drive, lifted, and I just want to be able to pull my truck in and out of my garage and get it out of the weather, out from underneath the carport, which I'm getting rid of. So that way I can increase parking in my drive, make the capability of my garage better by providing extra inside storage with added extra height for decorations, whatever we need to store. Yes, absolutely. And I'm not looking, if they don't approve the 10-foot height and they say I have to go down to a 9-foot height, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'll just have to adjust what I have to do. I was just figured a 10-foot height was fine. I didn't know about any guidelines about residential or commercial sized buildings or anything of that nature. So, does that answer the question?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
do you have anything else, Julie?
Staff recommended approval on this. Happy to answer any questions from the board. Yes, sir.
So, I know it's 9-foot standard height. What, is there a total height allowed there? Is it 18 foot? Am I misunderstanding?
I believe that is the total
As long
height.
as the building go over 18 foot at the
That is
peak.
That is correct.
My building height
So that would be the height limit in residential districts.
Anyone have any other questions for Julie?
Is there any other garages in that neighborhood that's 10-foot tall sides?
There was one, I think the storm took it, that was built for, it was 2 doors down on the opposite side of the street from me. That was taken out by strong winds, tornado that came through last year. High winds, I would say.
I've got one question. So even if you did the 9-foot, you still can go the 18-foot, right? At the peak. So it wouldn't matter if you went 14-foot, you're still only gonna get your 18-foot peak. So, right? Am I right? Or no?
That is correct.
Ask her.
Okay,
Yes, that is the maximum building height.
okay.
Okay, does anyone else have any more questions? If not, do we have a motion to approve or deny the variance?
Well, if Mr. Copeland is,
Do I?
Finish her thing.
Oh, were you done?
I can let you know that I did make a recommendation of approval with several conditions. And so those are included in my staff report as well.
Now,
Mr. Chairman, if Mr. Copeland is okay with the standard 9-foot, I'd make a motion that you go back to the 9-foot and along with the 4 provisions that Julius listed.
Okay, we have a motion to approve it with the 9-foot. Does anyone do we have a second on that? Okay, we have a motion, no second. Do we have a motion on the original?
I'll make a motion on the original 10
Okay, we have a
with the 4 criteria recommendations.
second. We have a first and a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
All right?
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. You're good to go. Okay, for second case, we have, case ZB 2025-12 UV Carp Homes.
This is a use variance. This is a request for 101 West Main Cross. This is a request in our central business district for 10 total apartments to be added to the second and third floors of this building. If the board will recall, earlier this year, you approved up to 5 apartments to be added to the second and third floors of this building. In front of you tonight, you have some additional information that was submitted last night, so that is available for you for the record. He did satisfy all of the public notice requirements, so we are good to have a public hearing tonight. And good to open the public hearing if you.
Okay, just if we have, anyone want to speak in favor of this? Yes, go ahead, state your name and address.
Just take my personal address or the address of the building. Travis Carpenter, and the address of the building is 101 West Main Cross Street in Edinburgh. So I have a bit of a long presentation here, so I apologize about that.
You have 20 minutes.
No problem. Gotcha. So as Julie had mentioned, I you guys probably remember me being here in May to get the 5-unit variance, and said it before and I'll say it again, I really have appreciated everybody that works in the town of Edinburgh. It's really been very welcoming, organized, and helpful all the way through the experience. So I very much appreciated that. I'll kind of give a lighter summary or a shorter summary of my narrative, which is that since I got approval for the 5-unit variance, to be honest, this property has hurt me pretty badly. Since May, I ran into a lot of unforeseen obstacles. I earnestly did my best before purchasing the property and before the use variance to consult experts, many of them, to create plans for this, and got everything approved with a very, very established construction lender as well, and hit some very difficult barriers. The two main barriers that I ran into was the necessity for a sprinkler system. Originally, we thought that there were ways around that and other ways to fire rate the building to meet codes and avoid the sprinkler system because it is very, very, very expensive. The other one is an elevator. What we ran into was an architect made me aware that we had to create, in order to appease civil rights law, we had to have an ADA accessible unit somewhere in the building. So when I started to go down that path, then I ran into a problem where that conflicted with the city codes and city standards. So I could not create a first floor unit without achieving another variance through the city, and it was also directly going against direct quotes in the comprehensive plan of the city of Edinburgh. So I essentially got boxed in to being forced to put a elevator in the building, which is, again, extremely, extremely expensive. I have included quotes from Gridlock LLC to build those things. In my 5-unit variance, I presented an SOW for the original construction plan that totaled, it was right around $250,000. As you can see by those numbers, my budget has now more than doubled because of these two additional items. Because of this, my lender will not fund the construction as a 5-unit building because there is not enough cash flow from the rents earned from the building with only 5 units. And the appraised value, the final appraised value of the building would not be high enough that I would be considered in a negative equity position. As you can imagine, no lender will lend on a building in which you'll be in a negative equity position at the end of it. So after doing an additional feasibility study on what would be the best use, the maximum use of the building to be able to achieve the numbers needed, we determined that, and consulted my architect to make sure it was possible from a layout perspective, we determined that 10 units was going to be the way to achieve this. And so I'm asking for approval of 10 units in here. And an important note to go along with this is my original plan. I didn't bring those sketches tonight because that was already approved, but my original plan had 2 4-bedroom units on the 3rd floor, 2 3-bedroom units on the 2nd floor, and a studio apartment on the 2nd floor. So that was a total of 15 bedrooms. Important to note that in the sketches that you have for this updated plan, while there are more units, there is now a total of 13 bedrooms, which is 2 less. Lastly, I want to address parking. We discussed in my last variance hearing that I do have an easement on the lot at 115 East Main Cross. The determination at the end of that hearing was that the easement may or may not be enforceable, and it was going to require advice of attorneys to for the board to feel like you could be confident that that was going to be an enforceable easement. And by the end of it, the variance that I was granted did not require me to build a lot on that, do not require me to add parking on that lot. And in the variance, one of the conditions was that if the lot was built, I would simply have to follow state, city, and highway codes and laws. So my ask today would be that we consider the same thing as we did last time, which is that the comprehensive plan does not only have support having residential units on the upper floors, but that the other residents and the plan does not require parking to be added by the owners of the buildings. And so despite basically what I'm asking for is that I'm hoping that that doesn't need to be a necessity like it was last time. That being said, all it does is raise the value of my building if I can make it happen. So I'm nothing but incentivized to still make that happen. I'm still very hopeful. And in case it does happen, I did include a sketch for in case you were curious, because last time we discussed the layout of it and I didn't have a sketch last time. So I did a parking study and then created a sketch based off of that. And then, I'm sorry, I said last thing, then go back, I forgot, I had 2 more things. I also, in Exhibit C of the staff findings report, there were, I wanted to address a few comments in there made by local municipality branches. And so one of them was that concerns that the building lacks fire protection due to the way that they were built, as well as potential wiring issues. So I just want to point out that we will be able to solve that because the sprinkler system that I've now discovered is required. And also the fact that the upper floors are currently gutted, so we have to do all new Romex wiring anyway, which is Romex wiring is the updated kind that's not a fire hazard. So I think that will be satisfied in the renovation plans. Okay, and then I just want to finish with that. It's been very disappointing to me that I haven't been able to swing a hammer yet on this building. I've been very hard at work on this ever since I saw you guys last in May. I've consulted countless architects, code consultants, fire safety, fire sprinkler companies and plumbers, and I mean, everything, you name it. And I've just ran into every single obstacle you could possibly think of. And every time I thought we had a solution, a new problem came up that we had to solve that finally led me to the solution that I felt was worthy of being prepared to present to you guys tonight. Okay. Sorry, that was really long. That's all I got.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Carpenter?
I still have the same concern about parking.
Yeah.
I mean, that's adding that many units, there's probably gonna be at least a minimum of 2 vehicles per unit, husband and wife or whatever. The downtown area can't handle that. We already have crowded parking down there now. So that's still the biggest concern for me is because you don't want us to put parking as a stipulation that you have to do it. But if you don't, where are they going to park?
Can I answer? Okay, I wasn't sure if you guys were supposed to talk first. Understandable. I think that we would be speculating, I think, to assume who would be moving in to these apartments. I know that the City of Edinburgh code is based per unit, but a lot of municipalities, whoa, I can't say the word tonight, is based off of bedroom count, because typically bedroom count usually is a larger determiner of the number of people that will actually be occupying the space. So I would say that with the previous plan that was approved, I think it would be debatable, or 50-50 at best, that it would have more cars in the old plan that we already approved. So I think there would be the same or less cars than what we assumed back in May.
So you think 10 units will have the same number of cars as 5?
Yes, because of the size and bedroom counts.
We're also speculating that you might have a parking lot, so,
Yeah, yeah.
so we don't want to do that either.
And there's just 2-hour parking downtown.
Yeah, which is already crowded.
Okay, anyone else?
I have one more question. You mentioned the Romex wire on the 3rd floor because it's gutted. Does that mean the 2nd floor is not getting that?
Oh, second and third floor.
Okay.
I might have misspoke, sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else have any questions, Mr. Carpenter? Okay, thank you very much.
Anyone else want to speak for the petition? Anyone else want to, or now anyone want to speak against the petition?
You're up.
Here again, Chuck Blair, and I own a couple buildings downtown.
Tell us your address, Chuck.
4971 Bacopa Lane, Unit 801, St. Pete, Florida.
Thank you.
But own several buildings downtown. Just went through the process of adding one apartment here on the, what I call the cab building here at 201. And I was drilled big time to where I had to show 2 parking spots per unit. And luckily I have owned the parking lot behind the building. So between the parking lot and a couple of lots on the side, I was able to come up with that. But I know, and then whenever we had also down at 101, the popcorn store, we've got some apartments there. And I know we we finally got the allotment that we needed, but I just don't see any more parking spots downtown. I tried calling Horizon Bank to see if I could make an agreement with them to buy part of their parking lot over there and make a parking area. And they wouldn't even entertain a phone call from that standpoint. So, and I do know that the Danner building, there's absolutely outside of a few parking spots in the front and a few on the side that they just made available now. That's no longer no parking. There's just not much parking down there. And as we all know, it's pretty crowded. So that would be, I'd love to see that building improved, no doubt. But yeah, and I feel for you. There's a lot of money, hidden money in there whenever you start on those elevators and everything like that. It's, yeah, a lot. So, but that's just my 2 cents. Parking is a big issue.
Yeah. All right, thanks.
Anyone else want to speak against? Okay.
Do you have anything else, Julie?
No, he gets a chance to talk.
Oh, do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, I guess the only other thing I'll add in addition is that, I did have to, I know that, this isn't really a guess, but, I have also sunk a very significant amount of cash into the building at this point. I had to unbound my construction projects after the 5-unit variance got approved before we started hitting obstacles. And so between losses of the lending that I currently have on it, as well as having to pay these construction contracts, I'm sitting at about $100,000 in the hole right now, which pretty much emptied both my business and personal account. The only reason I say that is I guess I just want to show like my commitment and effort. That I do intend to see this through and just try to battle to make it happen and just try to find a solution I can.
Okay, thank you. Okay, does anyone? Okay, Julie. Okay, Julie, you have anything?
So all of the board members received my staff report. And I did not update it after new information came in. As you have in front of you, I had several case considerations for you tonight. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have on those. But as I went through this application, my conclusion was that the applicant did not supply us with information that addressed the narrative that he supplied us to get me to the point of recommending approval. So that is why you see all of the analysis that I provided for you. So happy to go through them. Obviously, you approved 5 units. Request to increase per the changes in its scope. This is in downtown. No residential uses are permitted in downtown at all in our current zoning ordinance. We do have commercial on the ground floor. The floor plans we had earlier didn't give us the elevator, any estimated sizes of these units. I have those in the packet for you tonight. You received updated ones. I included all of the parking provisions. This proposal requires 20 parking spaces per our ordinance, regardless of the number of bedrooms. Our ordinance is unit-based. That's the ordinance we have, and it's the ordinance that's been in place for several years. Our ordinance also has requirements for the size of those parking spaces, and potentially there would be variances needed for the parking plan that was submitted to you for the size and access for that. And then also we have the potential issue of the easement and the ownership of 115 East Main Cross. So I'll included that in your packet tonight. And then at the time of publication of the report, you had all the comments from the utility and public safety departments that were not addressed. Yes, our comp plan does talk about bringing more activity and life to our downtown. It also states that one of its recommendations is amending the zoning ordinance to not allow residential on the first floor. Currently, we don't allow residential downtown, period. So that change has not been made. Here are the drawings that were provided to you today. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Board have any questions for Julie?
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
So as a landlord, would he be able to specify that if you get a renter, that you only have one vehicle? So that would be totally, so if he specified that and had that in his paperwork, then he wouldn't have more than 10 cars. Is that correct?
Yeah, that'd be a private agreement between the renter and the landlord.
So that's nothing that we could put in our recommendation, that only 10 cars are allowed on what he's able to fit. Whereas when he gets it built, then all of a sudden we have 40 cars. I don't know, I'm just asking.
You could put that restriction in, but I don't know how you're gonna enforce it.
We couldn't. We
But
wouldn't be
he
able- We
could.
wouldn't be able to enforce it.
Oh,
He
okay.
wouldn't, he wouldn't be able to enforce it either.
As a
He doesn't
landlord?
live, he doesn't live in Edinburgh. He wouldn't see what's going on every
Yeah.
day.
Okay, that's just my question.
Yeah, it would be a challenge to enforce.
Okay.
Okay. Is that all you have?
She has a recommendation.
Yeah, so I had a recommendation of denial based on the decision criteria from the state code and the zoning ordinance.
Okay, do we have,
Yeah, I'll just recap. Is there any questions for Julie? Right. So, board, this is to amend the current variance. So if you would deny it, the variance you granted in May, it's still in effect for 5 years. You have a choice to approve it with conditions if you like, deny it, or continue the variance if you want further information. If you deny it, remember, you cannot just say, I deny the petition. By Indiana law, it's up on the, you have to use one or all 3 of the criteria as a reason why you deny it. Julie can go through those real quick. Here's number 3. So for example, you would say, strict application of the ordinance, practical difficulty in the use of the property will result in practical difficulty in the use of the property. So that's her findings, that's number 3. Julie, we can go back to number 2.
Yeah, so
Number 1, go ahead, Julie.
yeah, so the first one has to do with the general public health, safety, morals, and welfare of the community.
So example of that is if you would want to deny this, you'd have to base that that you feel like the approval of this variance will somehow impact interest to the public health, safety, and general welfare.
The second one has to do with the use and value of adjacent properties.
Yeah. It would be substantially effective in that. And then number 3.
And then number 3 has to do with the practical difficulty. So if the strict application of the ordinance will or will not result in a practical difficulty in the use of the ordinance.
Understood. Does that make sense, Bruce?
we could just go by staff recommendation.
Yeah, but you have to base it on, the staff recommendation that I believe Julie found all 3 were.
1 and 2, I did not believe were.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve or deny?
I think based on Julie's recommendation and the 2 that she found that don't comply, that we deny, I move we deny this request based on her findings. And number 1 and number 2.
Okay, do we have a motion to deny it? And do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All-
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Motion carried. It's been denied.
I have 1 item of other business for you tonight,
Okay,
and that is the 2026 meeting schedule. You have that before you. As established in your rules of procedure, you meet on the first Wednesday of the month. And so those are there for you to approve.
if everyone had a chance to look at the meetings for dates for next year, do we have a motion to approve the dates for the meetings?
I make a motion to approve the meeting schedule.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We have a motion to, anything else?
That's all I have.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, well, we never do that.
Thank you for your help.